This is Miss Lee, and we're continuing our series of videos on linear relationships. In this video, we're going to learn how to write equations from graphs. And it's a really short video because it's really super easy. Okay, so we have a graph and we have a linear relationship that's already been graphed for us. We want to write the equation that represents this linear relationship. Well, we've learned how to write equations from tables, and we know that we can take the x and y values from a table and graph them, use them as ordered pairs and graph them on a coordinate plane. So we're going to do the reverse. We've got the ordered pairs here. We're going to take them and write them in an XY T-chart table. So let's look at our first one. Our first one is the point 0, 0. So you just make yourself a T-chart, X and Y T-chart. And we have 0, 0. The ordered pair, the next ordered pair is going to be 2 is the X. And the Y value is an 8. So that's a 2, 8 ordered pair. Okay. Then you'll notice there's a line between 2 and 4 that represents 3. So we're at 3, 12. So 3 is the X, 12 is the Y. And our last one, if we go all the way down to the X, we're at 4, and the Y is 16. So 4, 16. So these are some points that are already graphed on our linear graph. Now, one of the things that you want to be aware of is that this is a point also that is on our graph. But that could be kind of hard to tell what the ordered pair is. It looks like maybe it's halfway between 2 and 3, halfway between 9 and 10. You always want to try to choose whole number ordered pairs to make it easier for you to do your calculations. Okay, now that we have our table of ordered pairs, our table of x and y values, we do what we've already learned. We can write an equation from our table. Can't really tell what's going on between 0 and 0, so let's move it to the 2 and the 8. I could add 6 to 2 to make an 8, but when I add 6 to 3, I get 9, not 12. So let's go with multiplication. I can multiply 2 times 4 to make 8, and when I multiply 3 times 4, I get 12. When I multiply 4 times 4, it gives me 16. So this is our rule. We're going to multiply x by 4. So writing our equation, we're going to write y equals 4 times x, 4x. And that's all there is to it. Pretty easy, right? Okay, let's do one more example. Okay, this one I want you to do on your own. Pause the video. Once you have your table made and you've figured out the equation, come back and check your answers. Okay, first thing you want to do is make your XY ordered pair table. Remember, the x-axis is the horizontal, so those will be the values that are on the x-axis, and the y is your vertical. So this is my first, and I could have started up here, it doesn't matter. This is my first point, and it goes down to 1 on the x-axis, and the y coordinate is a 2. My next point goes down to a 2 and a 3. So 2 on the x, 3 on the y. Then the next one is a 3 on the x and a 4 for the y coordinate. The next point is a 4 and a 5. And then the last point is a 5 on the x-axis, and it goes over to 6 on the y-axis. So now that we have our table of values, we can go and we can determine what the rule is. Find the equation. So what are we doing from 1 to 2? What do we do to 1 to make a 2? We're increasing, so you're either going to add or multiply. If I multiply by 2, then I need to check it. 2 times 2 is 4, not 3. So we're not going to be multiplying. Instead, we're going to be adding. So I can add a 1 to 1, and it'll give me 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 5 plus 1 is 6. So that's what our rule is going to be. So let's write our equation. We're going to determine the output, the y value, by adding 1 to x. So y equals x plus 1. That is your linear equation. And that's all there is to it.